guys, welcome to another Friday night stream. Just happened to look at Discord, and turns out that it looks like Eric is not going to make it, and I do not know if Mark's going to make it. I pinged Eric on Discord, but haven't gotten a message back yet. So it looks like it might be just me tonight. Let's see. Welcome, Bud. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, Richard. Let's see. Party time. Yup. Can't stay long. Haven't slept in a good 2 days. Slept good in 2 days, so I took my sleeping meds early, so I'm getting tired. That's cool, Bud. You know, drop off whenever you want to. I'm going to keep an eye on the Discord. If Mark happens to show up, I will flip over to a to a different camera to be able to get him on as well. Hey JB, welcome to the stream. So I did a video earlier this week on, where is it? This 18th century longboat. And I'm really impressed with the book. 19 pages of instructions. Reason I started doing this is because I've never done actual planking on a boat per se, and I don't want to screw it up on the Pearl. Hey Jalen, welcome. So am I going to hear myself on your video? That would be kind of funky. But no, so I've never done an actual plank, plank on bulkhead or plank on frame hull. I've done a stern wheeler, which was a flat bottom boat, flat sides. The difference is that on a regular ship, you've got to curve planks and everything else, which is not hard. But what I didn't know, and I've actually learned something on this, is go ahead and pull these off, and I'm actually having to sand each one of these down because the notches here, and of course as soon as it focused I moved it, but the notches here as well as the notches on what is currently bulkheads and will eventually, as I go further along, once these get dried, once the planking is done, will become frame, don't fit into each other. Okay, I'm reading chat from Eric right now. Instead of chatting in the on Discord, he's instant message, so he's not going to make it. Mark's not going to make it. Let's see. Yeah, Mark's going to be hit and miss. He likes the stream, he likes being there, just doesn't have time all the time. Okay, so it is going to be just me tonight, guys, which that's okay. Things happen. But what I learned on here, and let me see if I can get it to actually focus in. What I've learned on this, which I didn't, there, you can see it there, how I've had to fare this down, because there's this thing called a beard line, curved line here at the aft, and then the rabbet, that's R-A-B-B-E-T, which you narrow the false keel before you put the keel on. Have to watch Harry Houdini. He does wooden ship planking tool. Cool. Very cool. Thanks, GB. But no, the rabbet and the beard line, and you can see the original etch, the laser burned beard line there. It's all curved down, it's smoothed down, but what it does is it allows the planking, when it hits, and it's actually going to be hitting up here, but it allows it to hit and actually look like there isn't the false keel there. There's going to be a little bit of sanding here to to ferret out. But so Harry Houdini, I'll have to take a note of that. But what it will do is it'll make it look like these planks actually meet up underneath the keel. Something I didn't know. Something I'm okay with on the Pearl, because the false keel versus the keel, the false keel is about a 1/16 of an inch wider on both sides than the keel, or the keel is about 1/16 of an inch wider on both sides than the false keel. And it just felt right here. There's one of the hazards of when you glue it, you can't see it. You can see it there a little bit. There's two little spots there with some extra glue that came out underneath here. And so I'm just going to use this needle file to push that out. It's funny, as I dropped the needle file, meant to pick up the other one, picked up the exact same one. So that's got that one. And I actually drew the fairing line, or the beard line, on this side as well. Yeah, and Eric said that his back is killing him. Well, his back, and he said he was head bobbing, so he's probably pretty wrecked right now. But yeah, so these are stacked. These have all been done. It starts at H at the front. I've worked my way down to B and A, and then it goes from A to 0. So let me put this back on here. Let's see. I believe it was it this one? Yeah. Just make sure. B, C, D, F, G, H. Okay. And I put this back on here just because that way I know where I'm working. And then take the needle file. And by the way, bud, this is a diamond needle file, and it probably looks a lot like the files that you were having issues with past couple of days. But I love how this thing is going. Been working on his HMS files, go through some of the videos, how to bend planks and how to cut. I know how to bend them. Haven't had to cut them yet. I picked up over the years a lot of tools. I've wanted to get into shipbuilding. I love building wood models. I just haven't gotten into shipbuilding up to this point. Sorry that there. Now see what I'm doing here is, like I said, these are a little bit narrow, and it won't fit yet. Go ahead and move that out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm fitting very close. I'm fitting just the edge of the piece, not trying to hit the notch yet, because the notch on the bulkhead is too narrow as well. Very close. And on each one of these, I've only sanded on the back half of the notch. Good night, bud. Have a great evening, and get some rest. I will tell you guys, I forgot to take some meds earlier, so in about 20 minutes, I'm going to take a real quick pause. I'll still be here. I'll be able to see the chat, but what you will hear some clicking in the background, and what that's going to be is me taking an injection. It sucks to get old, folks. Oops, I just put that in the wrong one. Okay. And then same thing on this. And I can use one of these other bulkheads to show you. Just like that, just like on the false keel, it's just a hair too wide or too narrow. And what I've done, since all the etched numbers, the laser etched numbers are all going to be facing towards the bow of the boat, I've taken it this way, about the etched number up on top, and been filing off on the side towards me, just to make everything uniform. I've looked at this too, and when it's going to be a little bit of a trick when I get this to the point of cutting these out, because if you look, they're actually, these notches actually are below where the false keel is. What I'm going to have to do is, and it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a trick because they're all going to be in here. I'm going to either have to start at the back or the front, but I'm going to have to somehow cut this out up to this point here, because I need that centerpiece to be in there to give it more stability. And you don't do any of that until you've planked the full boat. So the boat will be fully planked, and you'll have the keel or the bulkheads in there. Found another spot of glue. You'll have the bulkheads in there and have to work with them to get them removed, because eventually this is going to be it's going to be a skiff or a longboat. Got a Wassa wood kit, but it's 4 foot long and would need to displace a 6 foot by 4 foot display case. Wow. Wassa wood kit. Is it a ship, GB, or what is it? Sorry guys, moving my beverage. I'm not familiar with Wassa. That's my, yeah, very huge. But I love ships, and a build like that, a ship like that, GB, if you start it, you're gonna have years to figure out where you're gonna put it, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna take quite a while. And I'm actually pretty sure what I'm gonna end up doing is going back to these. I'm gonna end up taking these out. I'll probably end up cutting like up either side to where I can get just down there and get down into that area with one of the chisel blades. For those of you who have not, perfect. For those of you who have not watched the initial video on this boat, it came with a hell of a good toolkit. It's sitting right here, and these are various types of blades, and several of them Swedish ship sank. Okay, so the Wassa is the name of the boat, but it's got some chisel blades in here which are going to help on this thing. Very nice kit. I didn't remember what to call this. The pointy stick things, I was like, it's got that, and I'm not sure what it is. It's an awl. I actually did not realize that. It's just another X-Acto. Yeah, it's just another X-Acto handle. And the awl just fits into it. That's not going to be bad. Like I said, I've said before, I like working in wood, and it's kind of funny. I realize every time I do this that it's silly that I'm smoothing this off, getting the burr, basically the wood burrs or the ridges that are left from cutting it out of here, because it's going to be cut off. But it's a habit. What I'm doing with these, as I'm taking them off, I'm just stacking them up over here. What was I thinking? Oh, and just to let you guys know, even if I get to the point where I can glue these on, I'm not going to tonight, because what I want to do is I want to do a video talking about the rabbit and the beard line. Did not get a chance yet, so once this stream is done, I'll do a video and post it sometime tomorrow talking about that. Called the Vasa. They raised it from the harbor, rebuilt it, and built a museum around it. Very cool. Just because let me see. Oh, very nice. Built a museum. You're absolutely right. They built a museum around it. Wow. 1626, between 1626 and 28, sank roughly 1,300 meters into her maiden voyage in August of 1628. That's funny. I mean, what can you say? He built the ship, it sank less than a mile. Told you, Jalen, I was going to end up on your video. Tried to tell you. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. And see, these will fit. You know, with the notches do fit together, but only there's nothing in there when they do. Ukrainian company will be pillaging the Russian ship. I see what you're saying. Got some Mars 72nd scale figures for the Black Pearl that you picked up, the Zvezda one. I'll tell you, Jalen, that Zvezda is a really good kit. I have to sometime fix mine. During the move, I had some of the lanterns. Well, the lanterns, some of the spars broke off. It's a mess right now. So just double check. That's 0. C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. Now 895 for the pearl? I know. And it's every one of them is really cool. The pearl, I loved building that pearl. When I saw it on Amazon, when you posted on Discord about it, I came very close to ordering another one, but I'm like, ooh, that's expensive. I bought mine off of eBay. Had to be 2013, and it was $70 including shipping. It's unreal how much model kits are costing these days. So that's fitting, and so There, that's a little bit better. It's a little bit snugger in there. That's something I've noticed too, is that as I'm sanding these, they're not perfect. So they are going to have to be glued one at a time, very carefully lining them up, making sure that they're all good. But I'm enjoying this kit. It's a fun little kit. Speaking of which, speaking of this kit, I do have to say the only thing that I'm really disappointed right now about with this kit is the lack of support from Model Expo. I contacted them about the paint. I called them. They got their answering machine last Monday saying that it's the weekend, and I was like, okay, it's not the weekend. But I left a message and said, hey, yeah, I've got 15 bottles of paint that are dried out. All I asked is, do they know, is there some way to bring them back? Will they come back? And I got no answer. I also posted on Facebook and on their Facebook site, messaged them, and I've gotten no answer from either of them. Yes. Yes, I remember the Black Swan. I remember seeing that one when I was getting mine. It sucks about the paint. I mean, between the two, let's see, 15 bottles, so it's $75 worth of paint if I bought or closer, because it's closer to 90 because they sell those bottles for about $6. So $90 worth of paint that I can't use. It just means that I'll never buy paint from them again, because both of the paints that I bought, one came with this, one set came with this, the other was for another ship, or for a sternwhaler, the Chaperone that I have from them, and I bought them as sets from them. When you don't open the paint, it doesn't matter how old it is, it shouldn't dry out. At least my opinion. I mean, I have some testers, and yes, it's enamel versus acrylic. I have some testers paints that are, let's say, they have the 5-cent price on the bottle top. Now, I got them second, third, 14th hand. I don't know for sure, but they're still viable. And just a guess, with them having a 5-cent label for price on the top of the lid, they are probably 50 years old. But fortunately, with the paint for this one, or actually the paint for both of them, for the Chaperone and for the Longboat here, they're just very basic colors. I have replacements in craft paint. So what I'm actually thinking I'm going to do is I'll just take the garbage paint out, clean up those bottles, and put the craft paint in it. Okay, so next one's going to be 3. Did some work on the Queen Mary this week. Most of the, matter of fact, let me show you. So this one is untouched. This is the one side, the good side. There is some flash here, and that's about it. Right on the very end here. The rest of this is pretty good, very little flash. Had some flash in the windows here as well. There's a little bit out here. I've got to trim the rest of the tabs from the sprues off. And this one will be good. This one, on the other hand, why, oh why, okay, it said mute, unmute on my thing, but it's for me to unmute what I'm broadcasting. YouTube was confusing me. So this one, down here, about to here, it had no flash. And then it was, I mean, top, bottoms, everywhere, flash city on this thing. And I've done a lot of work, and you can see I've got basically a row left here that I haven't done. I've done these windows, and I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to sand off those injection marks or not. They're on the inside, I probably won't. And I picked up, based on what Peter at Oscale Modeling is doing, I like his idea. He put acetate behind all the windows. So I picked up some 0.04 clear acetate that I'm going to put behind all the windows, including the ones in the hull. Just trying to find some smoke colored paint. You know, Tamiya smoke or something like that. Preferably something in a spray bottle so I can knock it out really quick, that I'm going to spray the acetate. After I glue it, I'm going to actually glue it on here first and then spray it. Which is going to make it be interesting, because before I do that, I need to spray this. Okay, I just happened to look, thought I saw more flash, and I was like, really? Actually, I do. On some of the dividers for the balconies, there's a little bit of flash. If it'll focus. There's still some work to be done on, like, on this one here. You can see a little bit of the flash in there. Yeah. Very nice going together. I need to still do the touch-ups on the hull. Once I do the touch-ups on the hull, I can do the lighting for the inside of the hull. Throw some SMDs in there, and then after that, I will, or not SMDs, throw some LED tape in there, and then I will do some, losing my train of thought. Once I do the LED tape, I'll put start putting decks in. Already worked on the aft of the ship. Need to painted the, a couple weeks ago, or it might have been last week, painted the pool at the back of the ship. I need to put the decals in. Once those decals are in, then I can fill it with, what is it called? Artificial water, just so that it, to give more life to the pool area, and we'll go from there. Almost done with these things, and truly very small kit. This is the 2 wooden sprues that came with it. These, I want to say, these are going to go up here at the bow. This part here is actually going to fill in this spot right here. And of course, the part that I pointed at is out of screen. This right here will fill in right here once the rudder's on. Eric and Mark were supposed to be here to keep me from being boring. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the right spot there. So 3 can go back on here. So give me just a second, folks. I have to stab myself with a shot. Oh, it was so much fun. Quick shot in the stomach. And of course it's bleeding a little bit. And what's funny is because this pin is completely self-enclosed, you can't get to the needle, I just tossed it in the garbage. Okay. Sand this down a little bit more. Should be very close. Almost. Blood is good for ratings. Hey, Eric, not a problem, man. I understand. Like I said, you were supposed to be here to keep me from being boring. You know, let me put these in. Something I've noticed as I've been building this, and it's actually pretty cool. And yeah, Eric, you need to take care of yourself first. Don't worry about a stream. If I'd have seen, and I'm not boring, if I'd have seen your note earlier, I saw that you, I looked right before I started this, or right as I was starting the stream, that you sent me a note at 5 o'clock. If I'd have seen it sooner, I'd have probably switched it over to from a the Friday night thing to working on the Ghostbuster car. This one is a little bit loose. This is what I wanted to show. Now that these, you know, I've got enough to be representative. It's really kind of cool that the tops of all of these are perfectly level with each other. Except for the one that I said is a little bit loose. So this one, yeah, this one. And see, that's the thing, is they even said, or it says in the instructions to look at it from the back, make sure everything is straight and level. So, has the next iteration of your snowstorm started yet, Eric? Not sure why you keep insisting on having more snow. Supposed to be into spring. I just looked at the thermometer in front of me and realized that I'm sitting in a much hotter room than I need to be. Let me go over and open the back door. Actually, maybe. No, none of the windows are easy to get to. It's 71 degrees outside. It was in the 80s today during the day. That's what's messing you up, Eric. You need to teach Eli how to use that snowblower so that he can blow the snow instead of you. And I'm sure that Karina would agree, or probably not. She'd probably hurt you. If you tried to teach him. But it would be kind of funny to watch the little guy trying to run that thing that's bigger than him. You know, let me throw on these ones in the front, because I had somebody else, I don't even remember which one it was. I think it was Boiler Dan, who is now Dan Larson. Might have been him, might have been a different one that I was talking. Southeast Wisconsin. You know, Rich, I don't think I've ever asked, where in Wisconsin are you at? Because I used to live in Southeast Wisconsin. So, oh, that's nice. You can really see that rabbit line. You see it, but you can see the frame, bulkhead, whatever you want to call it, crosses into that rabbit line. This shows exactly what I'm going to have to do, ferrying this down so that the planks will actually be able to bend across it. Because they've got to come down here, hit that rabbit line. I know exactly where Oak Creek is. I used to work there at the recruiting station. Matter of fact, when I was up there, I lived in Kenosha. It was nice. Came off the freeway onto 27th Street, I think it was. And the recruiting squadron was like a mile up from the freeway. It was really nice. It was much better place than where we were at before, which was over on the airport grounds, across from the guard unit. And while we were there, we lost a whole bunch of cars because they were parked in our regular parking lot and the airport flooded. And actually, I have my daughter, when we moved up there, she moved with a friend in Vegas and was there for a couple of years, and then things got a little bit bad for her there, and so she not back because she'd never been there. Had to add a bunch of soap after removing a decal to replace it. They were not moving around. That's not good. But no, Francisca moved up there from Vegas after things not going well for her in Vegas, and I was retiring when she got her first apartment by herself. She was actually the thing in Vegas was she was staying with a friend, and they were staying at her mom's house, and all that just didn't work out well. And so I'm retiring. Francisca gets her first ever apartment. We're moving her stuff in. Just unloaded a bunch of stuff out of don't remember if we had a moving truck at that point or not. And I get a phone call after doing an interview. I mean, I am literally about to retire. You know, I'm on terminal leave. I think it was the 1st of March, and my actual retirement was effective the 1st of April. And I'm standing there in Francisca's living room on the phone with what would become my boss and accepting a job in California. My wife and Francisca were listening, and when I got off the phone, I turned and I looked, and Francisca was like, oh shit. You could see it on her face. She was like, oh no, I just got a place. They were supposed to stay here and be able to help me, and they're moving away to California. So it was interesting. And I actually liked living up there in Wisconsin, or actually in Kenosha. It was nice. Had some interesting weather sometimes. Had some what were decent neighbors when we were there, and then they turned into assholes when we left. Excuse my French, and there went my PG-13. But you know, it's one of these things of when you leave and your daughter is still in the same area, and she goes by your house that's on the market for sale, and shit has been stolen out of the backyard and is sitting in your next door neighbor's yard because we weren't supposed to be there to see it. So we made phone calls and we made friends with these people, talking to them about, you know, I said point blank, I have no problem calling. She said, you know, they said that their kids said that we said they could have it, and all the gazebo and all this, that, and everything. And I was like, I have no problem with calling the cops on your kids. If you're saying that they stole it, I don't think they did. I think you stole it. Oh, she got hot. I was really, really disappointed in these people because they were military, and I expected to be that there would be better from military, but you know, they were Navy. What can you say? So I'm just fitting all these on here. I'm not going to glue them yet. When I glue them, I'm torn between using the glue that came with this, which is CA, and with using Elmer's, which is what I'm probably going to use. I prefer white glue when I'm working with wood, because white glue bonds extremely well when you glue wood. I'm sorry. Don't mean anything by it, Rich. I'm sorry. Certain people, and I'm sure it doesn't matter whether they were Navy or not. I think it was just that certain people are that way. Next, you're going to say, you know, people that live in Kenosha. Will forgive me or Rich? So, oops, this one's interesting because it's not got anything it's really attached to up here at the front. By the way, Rich, I hassle all branches of the service, but I also realize very much after going to the senior academy with a Coastie as my instructor, I realized a long time ago that all branches do something right. We all do some things wrong. Greatest thing that the Navy and the Coasties have, well, I mean, really awesome, is the Chief's Mess. Hey, Kenny, you missed it. I built a boat. Or part of a boat. Now you need to, if you're gonna actually, yeah. If you're gonna actually build wooden boats like I think you're about to start, Kenny, you might want to look at the first part of the video because I described stuff I learned. What are you building? What are you building? So, Kenny, yeah, rabbit line, or the rabbit and the beard line. Important things. It is. I like the way it's looking. I'm going to leave it as it is at this point because I still want to do a video and actually, do about a 10-minute video. Actually, I could talk about it and show it. You can see it on camera. If I would stay in camera, you can see where I did the rabbit. And you can see a little bit where I did the beard line and the sanding. So, let me pop these out and make sure I've got them in the right order. And let me see if it's going to play nice. I've just flipped through this one first. Yeah, this one's been... I don't know why this one is acting the way it is with the lights. Oh, that's better. So, glass top here, and it's doing the same thing. God bless it. Now, if you can see it. It is. It's a very Academy Link use. Nice. Chopper. But it's a very good size to learn a lot of things on. Hey, Mark. How's it going? So, but what I was going to show you, what I'm showing you guys over here, is it came with these are 1-to-1 scale pictures or plans, and the glass tabletop is coming in extremely handy here because these can sit here and they're protected but visible. So let me flip back over. So, Mark, were you here to get on, or were you just here to watch? I'm good with either. It is. It's very not good. And what's funny, Kenny, is that it's kind of funny because these sheets of glass that I've got, they're glass entertainment stand or not really entertainment stand, glass TV stand that the people that used to own the house left behind. They're beveled, the corners are cut off, so they're like this, but it's perfect. And the only reason the cutting pad is on top of this one is because when I started doing videos, the lights were too bright. They reflected too much. What I need to do is actually hang these lights from the ceiling. Hey, not at all, not a problem at all. If you can't make it, that's fine. I mean, Eric couldn't make it either. It's one of these things, life gets in the way. I was actually, while I was waiting for 8 o'clock to roll around, I was sitting here watching videos and I almost dozed off. Sorry guys, I'm off. I've got to get throughput on air in here. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to try opening the doors to the house. We end up with about 1 million fans going in the summer here. Wait, somebody posted something on Discord. So you're going to have the green goo effect with an effect and not solid. The flames will definitely be flickering. By the way, Kenny, you know, and we're talking about a 3D print that Kenny's doing in the cauldron. For the flickering flames, I don't know anything about 3D printing, but I would say that what you probably have to do is just put like a black sheet of cardboard or something like that right between the two areas of the cauldron. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start gluing these on, and you can see just barely, just a bare little notch there. That's where part H goes. Oh, and I've been using these forever. Eventually, I'm switching to these for my white glue. I'm not sure if I like the size of that tip. It's just that the fact that it has a cap. Wow, I think I just about stuck it through. I did stick it through the cap. The rubber cap is not that durable. But the fact that it has a cap so that I can actually close it is huge. Interesting. Let me see if the other one's like that. Yeah, it's just this. I'm probably going to end up throwing that rubber cap away because I double checked and a pin will work perfect, and that will keep me from having to fight to get that tip clean all the time. Peter, welcome to the stream. How's it going down there? Oh, by the way, I'm very close. Very close to finishing cleaning this up. Lots of flash on that part. Okay. I've got glue on myself. I was just checking to make sure that this is going to flow. No disasters, because actually, I see Peter's upside down and things are good because he's down under. No, Todd, no disasters, because tonight I'm actually working on the on a wooden ship, or a 18th century longboat, in preparation for getting ready to do the planking on the Black Pearl, because I have never done actual planking on a wooden ship before. Now, I may end up not being happy with myself because I'm gluing these on here. I think it will be okay. Because, get this straight. You can see right here that bulkhead actually crosses down into the rabbet. And I will work with that once it's dry. And that is not going perpendicular. That should be good. Fingers of steel. Actually, and I fully understand tiny nails and hammers. But what I didn't know, and it's actually benefited me on this kit, is about the rabbit and the beard line. Fortunately, the Black Pearl doesn't have a beard line, and the rabbit is kind of built in because the keel is wider than the false keel, so it's not going to be too bad to do. And actually, somewhere, I wonder if it's somewhere where I can find it real quick. It should be, but it probably isn't. Let's see. There's an interesting tool that I don't use very often. Clamps. There it is. So, tiny hammer to go with tiny nails. I've had tiny hammer for 8 or 9 years. Haven't used it much at all. But I do have a pin pusher. This should help a lot. And anybody who doesn't know what a pin pusher is, it's it's a barrel here with a handle. You put the hammer or the nails in, the tiny nails in there, and you're actually able to push against it, and it'll drive the nail for you without having to use the hammer. And that's what that pin is there, it pushes the nail in. And then I tried to use this on a locomotive I built, not sharp enough. What it's supposed to do is basically put rivet marks there. It'll do it on wood. It would have done it on the soft metal. It would not do it on the aluminum that made up the boiler of the locomotive. Okay, so while I let me put this in, put that in there. While I let this one set, let me grab this, and I will put these files back in the kit. So the only thing that's out of this kit right now is this X-Acto, and it comes with the no, this is not made for kids, ever. This comes with the number 11s that have I haven't seen many of them, but it's got the little hook on the end here. Kind of nice. The blades are of a newer design than the ones that I've been using for the last 8 years. I bought a 100 pack of number 11s about 8 years ago, and I'm just now getting to the end of them. So let me see. So yeah, I've gone through all of these. What I did was I did them in sections first. Did this section, then I did this section, then I did this section. When I got down here, I just started I went across, went across the top here, and so the only row I have left is these ones right here. And I showed right there, right in there, there are some scraps that I got to get out of there. And this is, I use a variety of tools. I actually use drill bits to, on some spots, to make things, to trim some of that excess off. So let me see if I can, there we go. Unfortunately, because there was flash on these and they are so small, they're kind of like the Voyager windows. They look good as long as you don't look too close. Once I paint this, I just spotted a piece I missed here. Once I paint this, hopefully it will clear it up. Some of them I ended up a little bit too wide, some of them, well, none of them too narrow. There are some that were, some of the windows down here were very narrow, and I couldn't get this pin or this needle file into them. But yeah, to clear the flash out, I just slide it in and out. These two had nothing in them. This one here, you can see there's something in there. I just push from the top to the bottom. That should clear it out the other side. Yeah, there's the flash right there on my finger. So actually these were not that hard to do, just there's so many of them. And as you're going, at least I have the tendency to go, which one was I just on? And I've actually gone, you know, the way I'm going up and down, I've actually pulled the file out and hit the next window over without even meaning to. I mean, they come. The flash is there. It's not. It's irritating that it's there. It's not really that bad. Of course, I say that having not primered the other side of these to see how much is actually showing on the balconies. And I'll find out that when I paint the balconies too. So there's a thicker part of it. I started out actually doing this with the X-Acto. I realized that the file is just as fast and cleans it up just as well. Keeping count on the windows? No, about 1 billion. Basically, every window on this side of the boat needed the window, or needed this done. Every window, every one of the tall windows, and about half of these windows down here, and a couple of the square ones. Did you keep track of how many you had to clean out, Oz? Or Peter? Used to calling you Oz, man. And in all actuality, the last time I counted the number of windows I did on something was my 200 scale Titanic, which, yeah, I saw your video talking about it. But the 200 scale Titanic has, what was it? It's like 1,246 portholes if you drill them all. Or at least that's how many I drilled. I need to get back on that one too. Once I get the Queen Mary 2, actually probably before that, the Titanic will start coming back. Because the whole, and I just did it. I jumped from this window to this one when I pulled the, here, let me show it a little bit closer. I pulled the file out of this one and jumped over to this one and just cleaned out one, skipping one without meaning to. But the Titanic I went on hiatus for because I couldn't get the parts I wanted. I now have had the parts for probably 7-8 months. I just need to get back to it. I can believe it. Or the Voyager. Have you ever done a Voyager? That's an adventure in drilling because you're taking a round drill and making long windows like these. I actually had a couple of them that I took the centerpiece out of the windows on the Voyager. Didn't go back and fix it because when I finish it, once I finish that ship, it's not going to matter. It's, you know, if I have a window that's supposed to have 2 or 3 segments and it has one less, nobody but me is going to really notice, and I'm going to know exactly where it is. And of course, when people are like, that is so cool, so the windows look so great, I always go, but this one, this one's bad. People are like, but the rest of it, I'm like, I don't care. We are all our own worst critics. Very close. Yep. I'm talking about the, not the monogram. I think mine is Revell. That Voyager has no windows. You have to drill them, which is why the, what is it, 1/1000th scale, they came out with a clear one so that you don't have to drill windows. When I build my 1/1000th scale, it is actually it's not the clear one, so I will be I'll light it and I will be drilling windows on that too probably, or I won't light it and then I won't worry about them at all. So there's a couple spots in here still. Oh, you weren't here, Peter. I stole your idea. I think I told you this last stream. I stole your idea about the acetate. I actually bought some sheet acetate. This is part of the Queen Mary 2. It is part of a ship. Hey, Dirk. Welcome to the stream. Let me get the hull, Peter, and I'll show you what the ship is. Or not Peter, Todd. I'm very unhappy with the overspray that I need to correct on here. This is the hull of the Queen Mary 2. What I'm working on is the next set of balconies that go above the area right now. And you can see right there, really bad spot where the paint leaked through. And then down here on the bottom, my problem was, I believe it, my problem was that what I did was I used airbrush, rattle can, and I didn't tape out everything off. You can see where my tape ended. So now I've got to tape off the red again and tape off the gray. That reminds me, I just looked and I don't see it. I know where I had put it, but then I moved stuff around. I cleaned up the bench last week. I snapped off that stabilizer again. And that's why these other ones are taped. And I don't know where it went. I actually had glued it back on. You know, I glued this one back on a couple of times. This time I lost it, so it's gone for good. I'm not going to fight with it. I'm just going to paint it. It's not something that has to be there. It's kind of neat to be able to flip it out like that, but it doesn't have to. If I find it in one of the multiple little containers I have here on the table, I will glue it back on, and then I'm going to glue them all shut. On these windows? Or on these windows? Because these windows don't need any cleanup. These windows have tape behind them. These windows weren't windows before. They were whole. And I cut, both Eric and I cut them out because we're doing this as a buddy build. And these are actually pretty good. There are some spots. Actually, I don't think those are below the water line, because the water line, the water line is right at the white line, or, you know, where the decal goes. And all those windows that I cut in the bottom of the hull are above the red line. Let's see. Looking here. Looking, I see some spots where there are shavings of the flash on the balcony side still. Most of the flash just came right off. Some of it is being a pain in my behind. Oh yes, the stabilizer is below the water line. Yes, absolutely. And I've decided that with the way they keep popping out, they fall out at the most inopportune moment, and then that one keeps getting snapped off. I'm probably just going to glue them all in. The Ida Blue that I built a couple of years ago, the stabilizers are able to come out, and it's kind of neat to be able to put them out, but they really don't mean much in the grand scheme of the ship. I think that's just about got all of this. That is the one thing I need, is a little bitty vacuum for my desk. I just thought about it. I was trying to think what I did with them. So I was mentioning that I bought some plastic sheeting. This is a lot thicker than I expected. I mean, and it is frosted, but that's only because it's got plastic on both sides. Protective plastic. And what I'm going to do, and like I said, I'm stealing this idea from you, Peter, is I'm going to cut out sections from each to fit each of these areas and then glue it on there. First thing I have to do before I put any of it on, though, is I need to do some tests and see what kind of glue I'm going to use on this. Probably make sure this tank slits below where the deck is. Ascertain acetate sits below where the deck will. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I saw that when you were talking about it, and I've actually fit these on here. Just, yeah. I won't cut the acetate, and I need to heat this, or just, you know, when I glue it up to the ship, it's gonna take some doing because it's curved. But when I glue it on here, you know, unless you're saying that there's another deck that sits between the bottom piece here and the bottoms of the balconies, I should be able to just put acetate from here to here. But I also have to make sure I don't go above, because I don't want to have to mess with the deck above. I need to, like I said, I need to do something, because that's one heck of a bow in this. But once it's glued down in the ship, it should be good. Oh, shaving cream. Right there. Right there. See it? Ugliness. Right there. I just snapped it. So let me put a little bit of glue on there. Actually, let me put a lot of glue on there. Never a good sound when you hear snap. Yeah, probably soak it in hot water, not flex it to where it snaps again. Or do the same thing I did that has warped this pad. It's flattened out for the most part. What I can do is just set something on top of here after this dries. Set it on the patio tomorrow on top of the spa, with something on in the middle of it so that it'll flatten out. Put it out in the sun. So yeah, this piece. No, that's not how you fix a bow. Snapping the plastic is not the best option. So this piece was completely covered with flash. I'm looking, and some of the areas, a little bit still right there. Some of the areas it's hard to tell if it's flash or if it's meant to be there. Like, let me see. I can see it. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, and there's still flash there. There's a little lip here. There's a little lip right there. It almost looks like flash, but it looks like something goes in there. So I have to wait until I'm ready to put this on to really determine. Look, more flash. To really determine if that's got to be there or not. I'm sure it will be good the way it is because it's going to be covered up. There's a little bit right there on the actual balcony wall. That's not good. So now that I'm going back and I'm re-looking and I'm seeing more stuff, I could probably spend the next 3 weeks working on just this part. There I can see actually a little bit of flash. All right, let me move on to the next one. Let's see what else I can break. Just looking. And this one here where it's going to fit. Yeah, that's exactly it. Stop. Two things. Stop looking, and the other one that I tell Eric all the time when he's looking, especially on the Queen Mary, he looks for stuff. He looks at it. He gets out a magnifying glass and looks at it. He's like sitting there with a magnifying glass. I'm like, Eric, nobody's going to see it if you have to look that hard. I'm a firm believer in what I call the 6 foot rule. If it looks good at 6 foot, leave it alone, because most people are not going to get any closer than that. If I was going to be entering models into competitions, I'd probably still do the same thing because I do this for my enjoyment. Let me make sure. Let me go crossed. Ah, yes. I do remember there is a little bit down here on this end. Man, I wish my eyes were that good. That camera is better at focusing than my eyes are. Actually, okay, I'm doing the same thing Eric does. I'm looking at this closer than I could normally. Come on, refocus. Note to self, do not look at this under the camera because there's a lot of flash on here. First thing, let me cut off these screw tabs. And that is my gauge for whether the tab is good. Wasn't even a tab there, but I felt a ripple. If I can run my finger over it and I don't feel where the tab was, then it's good. There it is. That's the one I was looking for. You know, Rich, I will tell you something that it was funny because they have suggested trifocals for me before. And I wouldn't even go, I tried bifocals and I couldn't stand them. So, you know, when I went and got the last glasses, the ones that I'm wearing now, they suggested transitions, which I was like, okay, what are those? And they said, the doc told me they're kind of like trifocals. They're close to trifocals because they have 3 vision areas. At the top is distance, in the middle is mid-range, and at the bottom is reading. And then on the edges, everything's fuzzy. You know, out. It's kind of like a funnel, and out on the edges, everything, you know, over here is going to be fuzzy because none of the prescriptions are actually out in that area. It's kind of a combination of all of them. But I got them and I put them on and I tried them out. And, you know, I had 30 days that if I decided these suck, they would work with me. I'd go back, get a new pair, you know, get 2 pairs. I will tell you the greatest thing was when I went into or still is, when I go to a grocery store and I can pick up a can and read it without changing glasses. I was like, wow, that's awesome. But what these glasses have also done for me is I keep these around. I keep them handy because I used them for everything before when I was using my close-in glasses. I don't use them now. I haven't had to use them since I got these glasses because I can focus in on the near stuff, you know, near enough. I do use them occasionally, but for just very small things, like for things that everybody would use, for working on those stupid tank treads, which I still haven't finished. I need to finish those this weekend. But yeah, most expensive pair of glasses I've ever owned, but my last pair of glasses, you know, I think they were $150 at Walmart. I wore them for 8 years, give or take. And so these I'll wear for several years. Damn it, drop that on the floor. But best pair of glasses I've ever had, bar none. And they are, what is it? They change with the sun. The only thing that I don't like about the way they change with the sun is the fact that all car windows are designed for the most part to block UV and radio waves and stuff like that. That's why at the top center of your windshield where they have that checkerboard, or not checkerboard, the bunch of dots and all that, that's so your cell phone works. Because the glass from the car window would block the signal if that wasn't there. And that, you know, UV is blocked by the windshield. And so when I'm wearing the glasses that darken in the sun, they don't darken in the car. It's just as bright as it always was. But they do work really well, and you know, they darken outside almost instantaneously. Right. There are no lines, which that was what was with bifocals. That was what was killing me, is I saw the line. My vision going from having a step there, it just drove me nuts. The transitions don't have a step. It does, but it doesn't. It's smooth. There's no lines there. And if I remember right, no, these are plastic frames. I've had, or plastic lenses. I've had glass lenses before. What's terrible is when you look at my lenses, you can tell. Left eye, not so bad. Right eye, really bad. And it's kind of funny because it screws. Anytime my wife decides she's gonna try looking through my glasses, it screws her up because she's nearsighted, I'm farsighted. So she really can't look through my glasses. And all I'm doing, when I was looking at this through the camera, I was like, holy crap, there's little bits of flash. So I'm gonna go back through and see, this is one of the windows that is too narrow for the file to fit through. I'm gonna go through and just run the file through all the windows that it'll fit, just to make sure that that little bit of flash that's in there comes off. You know, the ones you see that I'm skipping is because the file will not fit. I could force it through this one, same with this one. And once if you get it in there, it gets stuck. You're right, Todd. You tried progressives? I had never tried progressives until I got these. And what they call transitions now used to be photographed. But I tried regular bifocals and I could not stand them. These are my first my first transitions. Or no, what was it? These are my first progressives, sorry. And I love them. I will never go back to standard regular glasses again. And I can see it after looking through. There's a little bit of flash in there. I mean, what's funny is that, like I mentioned, my wife is nearsighted. She has glasses, but she doesn't wear them. I ask her when she's like, I got a headache or something. You know, sometimes she'll get a headache, and I'm like, you know, why? How come? And she's like, this is blurry or whatnot. And I'm like, well, is it better with your glasses? She's like, yeah. Why aren't you wearing them? I don't want to. Okay, never mind. Todd, I use 3 monitors. And I will tell you, you are right with the progressives. The one thing I have noticed is that, because the monitor in front of me is, got a ruler right in front of me. The monitor is 7 inches off the desk. Your normal monitor is about 3 inches off the desk. So I end up looking up high when I'm looking at the monitor, especially when I'm looking at the top of the screen. But I do have a pair of just strictly near vision glasses, and when my neck starts to scream at me, I put those on. The only reason we bought those because it was kind of funny that the deal that they could work with 2 pairs of glasses versus 1 pair of glasses. Transitions cost more than the 2 pairs of glasses that I got. The near and the or I keep calling them transitions. The near distance and the progressives cost less than just the progressives. But I will tell you, Todd, I would rather have the problems we have than other. close-up pair for working at the computer, another pair that darkened for long distance. Of course, I left the second pair in the rental in Maui. Got some Ray-Bans and live outside Blur. I used to actually have, and this was back when I worked in a med group on base as the resource advisor, and because I'm a retiree, I could get glasses. I worked with the optometrist to get 3 pairs of glasses. I got one, and this is 9 years ago. Goodness. I got 1 pair for distance vision. I got 1 pair for working on the computer and reading, and I got 1 pair that was specifically for modeling. Had the doc put a prescription in there that was for really close. And those worked for a while, and then I quit using those ones and just used the near and far. And that's what I transitioned from into the progressives I have now. I miss my Ray-Bans I used to have. For a while, for about, had to be almost 15 years. You know, I had glasses when I was a kid, grew up wearing glasses because of, you know, issues with my eyes, of course, goes without saying. But the Air Force, well, when I was about 19, no longer living with my family, dropped out of college, got married at 21, did all kinds of dumb shit, but could not afford new glasses. And I happened to drop the ones I had onto the connecting bolt for the tire on a lawnmower at a gas station that I was working on, and split one of the lenses right in half. Like I said, I could not afford new glasses, so I went without glasses for about 3 years. I joined the Air Force and was able to read the chart well enough that they said, "Yep, 20/20." I'm like, okay. So I went without glasses for about 15 years. And I am an avid reader. And there was one night in bed that I was reading a book and, you know, getting ready for bed, and I realized that my arms were too short for me to be able to read the book. And I looked at my wife and I said, "How long have I been holding the book out at arm's length?" And she's like, "I don't know, forever." And so I went to the optometrist on base, and they said, "Yo, what's up?" I said, "My arms are too short for me to read." He said, "What?" I said, "My eyes have gotten bad enough that I can't read comfortably anymore. I hold books out at full arm's length to be able to read." And they're like, "Okay, you probably need glasses." And so they did the exam, and I got glasses, and then we talked, you know, a couple of years went by, and the Air Force would give me glasses every year. And one day, you know, and they were just reading glasses that I got. And I realized one day while I'm wearing them, and I'm at work and I go downstairs and I forget to take off my glasses, I'm like, hey, actually I can see better. This is comfortable. And so I started wearing my reading glasses full time. I went in, you know, that couple of years later, went into the doc, does the eye, looks over my eyes and everything else. He's like, "Okay, so if you thought about PRK?" I'm like, not really. So what am I a good option for it? He's like, "Yeah, if we get you PRK, we should be able to clear up your vision well enough to where all you need is reading glasses." I looked at him and I said, "Doc, these are reading glasses. I just wear them full time because they're more, you know, I'm more comfortable. I can see better." Matter of fact, it was a difference of when I started wearing glasses full time, I stopped being so tired. Those little muscles in your eye, they do burn a bunch of energy. But so I opted out of ever getting PRK simply because why would I let them do surgery on my eyes? Maybe affect my vision forever so that I would have to wear glasses like I already do. And having done my research over the years, I found out that that surgery is great if you're nearsighted. Oh no, damn it. There's a gap up here at the top. It's still loose enough that I should be able to put some glue in there and pull it. I'm stopping right there because where I need it to be glued, it is glued. You ever do that to yourself? Realize you're about to do something and then you realize what I'm doing makes no sense because, on this model, and I'm just doing a little bit more glue on the joint. Makes no sense on this model because that part's going to get cut off anyway. So I just noticed when I looked at this, you can see just barely daylight there. And I was about to glue this piece to the false keel, the piece that I have to cut out. But what I am going to do, I just put a little bit of glue on the bottom. If I can do this without snapping anything, I am going to hold it like that. Let me see, that's not. Trying to get it to where it is straight. Okay, that's probably as straight as I'm going to get it. That looks pretty good. I need to do that more often because the camera sees better than I do. Yeah, what I need to do, I'm repeating myself. I'm babbling. Yeah, I was about to put the next piece on, but I want to like I said, I want to let that one dry completely. Because I'll do it on here, show it on here. It did come with a spare bow piece. It came with the two keels, pieces of the keel. This one right here, and this one right here. There's extra pieces. But, what was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. With the rabbit, it being in here like this, once I get the first plank on here, and this is actually a plank from the kit. Once I get the first plank wrapped around from here to the stern and glued on, and no, this didn't even come with any nails. I'm not going to use nails to hold it on. I've got some binder clips that I'll use to hold these pieces in place. Once the top row is on, it's going to make it a lot sturdier. I'm going to let that dry overnight, and then I'll be able to go from there and finish up the planking. Probably going to plank it down just about to where it starts. I start having to do some serious curvage. And it's kind of neat because it literally tells you, the reason this book is 19 pages long is it tells you exactly how to do all this stuff. It tells you what to do because, like you've never done any of this because you haven't. So there's a transom. Okay, there it is. transom, and I still don't know. I have one piece of wood that I have no idea what this is for. None. But the transom to go on the stern of the boat. A bunch of oars. Love the oars from this side. From this side, they look messy. Just the way they... Oh, and I hate that. Okay. It looked like that little piece of... Let me see if I can get it to focus. There's a little speck of sawdust right there that was sitting on, there you can see it there, that it was sitting just right on that oar to when the oar came down. It looked like it was torn out of the oar, and I was like, I hate that. Oh, and in case, I don't know if Eric is still on. He's probably asleep, but if he goes back and he rewatches this, Eric, this is, you know, we've talked before about Bob Smith Industries glue. This is BSI CA that has been repackaged. BSI glue always comes in these bottles. This is a very small bottle. I usually don't buy less than an ounce. I bought 2-ounce bottles of this before. It's good. It's good CA, but I like my Loctite better. Okay. Let's see. Done the top. This top row. The second row. Back to more windows. So just out of curiosity, guys, I'm gonna keep doing the, at least Tuesday, the part work builds. And oh, by the way, I contacted Agora because last month they sent me packs 5 and 6. They charged me this month, and it's kind of funny because I think Kaylin has mentioned before that Agora sends them free packs, and actually they charged me this month. It's been 2 weeks, and I contacted them and said, yeah, haven't seen any shipment data for this and for this payment. And what they said was that last month we sent you packs 5 and 6. This is the payment for pack 6, which is what I expected. So it seemed like it was a really cool bonus. I guess they like me, but you know, they sent me 2 packs at one time. I just wondered what they would have done if I'd have canceled it between receiving pack 6 and when they charged me for pack 6. Not going to cancel. I'm looking forward to doing the London bus. Once I get the Ghostbuster, get 2 more issues done on the Ghostbusters. Might work on Iron Man, might start on the London bus. But where I was going with this is that Sunday, now Tuesday's going to always be Partworks. Sunday, I'm thinking maybe do something like I'm doing now, but do an out-of-box review on a kit first. That'll kill half hour to an hour, depending on the kit, and then work on something. Work on the Longboat. Work on the Queen Mary, maybe the tank. Just curious what you guys think. would you like to see out-of-box reviews? Because I'll tell you, most of my models are plastic outside the kit. The shrink wrap on the outside of the kit is open and gone, but the bags inside the kit are closed. I don't know why I feel the need to open the box, look at the kit, look at the instructions that I've looked at online, look at the decals that I've looked at online, and then put it back on the shelf. This would actually give me a reason to start opening up the bags and seeing what's in them. There's one that needed it. I think I've put you guys to sleep. No answer. Yeah, it's just a thought that I'm kicking around. Because, believe it or not, a lot of kits that I've gotten over the years, every model. You mean do an out of box review of all my kits in one stream? We'll be here for months. But some of the kits that I've got, the only reason I've got them is because I watched an out of box review from somebody. I was like, that looks cool. Cool. Yeah, I knew you were going to do that, Todd. Are you using Arduino, or how are you customizing it? That's something I needed to get into sometime too, is the Arduino. And I'm going to have to tell my wife it's time to cut my hair. With the humidity, it's starting to bug me. Monster trucks wallpaper. Yeah, wallpaper decals get interesting. Sometime I'll have to do a video on my NX01, which the only problem it has right now is that the stand where the rod goes into the ship, the mounting points inside the ship are broken. Something fell on it at some point. So it doesn't sit on its stand very well. And I did the wallpaper decals from, I forget what it was. That's right. I need to Lego kits. Yeah. Light my brick components. Lego kit lighting bits. Cool. Wrote a ton of how I'm doing, redoing the inside of your Enterprise. I need to go to your website and read some of that stuff. It's just that I've got so much going on, and I know I've seen your articles. You do a huge write-up on your models. Yeah, I'm not going that extensive. Lots of curves, you end up with unavoidable wrinkles. Are you using Solvaset, Jalen? Because Solvaset, when it works the best, honestly, you put the decal on, it's kind of wrinkled, you know, because the curves or something like that. You put a ton of Solvaset on it. You leave it alone for like a minute and a half. You look at it, you're like, oh my God, that decal is destroyed because it's just bubbled up everywhere. Don't touch it. It's doing its job because as it dries, it sucks it down and it looks beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people building the Enterprise, and there's a lot of people who, because of the issues with how it's the lighting issues, and now the issues with nobody. I don't think anybody in the States has gotten any shipments or more than one shipment since October. No, I got one in January and nothing since then. I've gotten my second special since October, and I've heard that people are getting a third special since and no parts. It's like, D'Agostini, you might want to think about this. If all you're going to send is specials, people are going to cancel. I know some people have. I've contemplated it. Unfortunately, I'm in too far to get out of the Enterprise. Maybe. Depends on how much Donnie would be willing to pay me for it. I might ship, if he sent me if he named the right price, I might send him my Enterprise. Got 55 to 58 in March. Yeah, I've gotten all three shuttles. Oh, and the stand. I haven't seen the stand. Yeah, I've gotten all three shuttle sets. No stand yet. Let's see. Because I actually started, because of the way things have gone over the last couple of years with schedules on Partworks, I've actually started tracking. So let's see. Yeah, issue 11, which was 39 to 42. I got in January. I have not seen anything since, and before that it was October. And then the Ghostbuster car, issue 29, I've been waiting on since October as well. The stand is terrible. I believe it. I've seen the stand is some sort of tripod monstrosity. I've been paying the extra $1 or whatever it is. I'm hoping that the glass case is better than that stand. And it's a single. So Todd, it is a single piece stand, so that means that that saucer somehow has to attach to that neck. Because that's the other thing. And that actually, I wonder if that's why it's been so long since anybody's gotten anything, at least for the Enterprises, because they're redesigning the neck connection, because it's as soon as you put the saucer on, the neck's going to snap. I mean, that would really suck having. Yeah, I think I'm up to. Yeah, I need the updated door that comes with 107 as well. Okay, and I've seen that tripod thing. It looks really hokey at best, and the with a cardboard cover. As a matter of fact, I believe that Mark Shu has gotten a stand. It's kind of funny. I've been subscribed longer than he has, and he's been getting parts. He was behind where I am, and now he's passed me. I'm just curious what's going to happen if they really do release the Batmobile, because I really want to get the Batmobile, but I really don't want to have another part work that's supposed to take 2 years and it's going to take 5. Yeah, printed cardboard pyramid. Well, like I said, if I ever get it, I've got the case coming. I really, when it first came out, I was just so excited about the Enterprise. It's really sad that they've soured me so much on it. But I don't want to opt out because of how far in I am. And if I try and sell what I've got, it's delayed again. Neck does lock into the saucer. The little docking latches are lifted up with a tool and locked open, then it slots into the saucer. Those little bitty locking pieces are supposed to hold the saucer. I don't see that lasting very long. I see that breaking inside of a year or two with it just sitting on it. I mean, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And the Batmobile's delayed again, which means, well, and that's what's funny is I've talked to them. I've asked. The last I talked to customer service, they said that the Batmobile was just waiting for a poster. I really think that I'm going to think very hard before buying anything more from Eagle Moss. And they do get some pretty good licenses, but if you can't support what you're supposed to be selling, then you need to stop going after those licenses. And that's the thing is I really thought when there was GM licensing and the barcode that you could scan and everything on the Ghostbuster car, I was like, good, we've got a reputable company supporting them now, so they shouldn't be doing any of this stupid crap they've been doing for years. And they are. So, I don't know. I guess it is what it is. I think that Fanhome, if I remember, Fanhome, they don't know shit. Brent says he is dropping that third-party CSC, build a US-based one that has more access and knowledge. That would be really nice. But see, for long-time people, subscribers to Eagle Moss, like myself, I'm coming up on between Enterprise, the DeLorean. I think the DeLorean was the first one I got from them. I'm coming up on about 5 or 6 years of dealing with Eagle Moss, and I keep doing it, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it anymore. And you can ask anybody that has watched my streams. I have complained about eagle moss for years. Had issues with D'Agostini on the Millennium Falcon, but only like once or twice. Let's see. Good. Don't see anything that needs to be done on those. Good. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. You know, it would be actually kind of cool if customer service built them as well, so that they had firsthand knowledge on how some of it goes. Because I used to be like a lot of people with eagle moss. I used to get grumpy at customer service, but it's not their fault. You know, so many people still get grumpy at customer service, and there's no reason to, because customer service didn't do it. It's the people in the sorry, got distracted. People in the front office that are doing all this stupid crap. So I'm looking at Jalen's post of the monster truck she's working on. Looks real good. But yeah, too many people, and I'm gonna switch cameras. Too many people yell at customer service too much, because customer service has nothing to do with the problems. They can't do anything about them because, well, and actually neither can the executives or anything else. It's a lot of supply chain issues. I understand that. You know, and buying the parts in China doesn't help, especially, you know, when things start getting weird over there. So, 2 hours and 10 minutes. I was supposed to have partners in crime here tonight, but they didn't make it, neither of them. That's okay. Yep, see you tomorrow, Kenny. Not quite off to bed. I'm going to go upstairs, do some stuff, probably play a game. I appreciate people stopping by. Had a good time. Had a good time chatting. And you guys know, I will sit here and I will talk to myself for hours. I do. So appreciate you stopping by, and looking forward to Sunday. Sunday I'll be doing the. Actually, we haven't determined that yet. I'll either be working on the Ghostbusters, or be doing it out of the box and then working on the Longboat again. So, had a good time. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Yep, you have a good one, Todd. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Like and subscribe. You know, it's a lot of fun to do this. I do this for you guys, and if you don't subscribe, I don't know you're enjoying what I'm doing. So, have a great evening. Have a great rest of your Friday evening, or if you're somewhere where it's already Saturday. Hey, I do the same thing, Peter. If it's already Saturday where you're at, have a great Saturday. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe out there, and I will talk to you on Sunday. Later.